After they were rescued from the brink of ET-induced extinction, video games experienced their golden age. The mid to late 80s were an incredible period for gaming. And although there were several factors behind their remarkable success, I think one of the most important was discipline. What I mean is, video games followed rules in the 80s. They recognized certain parameters, and rather than push beyond them, they thrived within them. This gave games instant accessibility, and most importantly, it kept them within the limitations of their technology. But then, this thing happened. Once the 90s arrived, you started to see game developers shift their focus. Suddenly, games were trying to break the parameters of the 80s, less about games than the technology behind the game. Now, the problem with technology, however, is that it becomes antiquated. And that brings us to Corporation, a Mega Drive game released in 1992. This game was a huge deal back then. Breakthrough effects, 3D environments. This was actually one of the first shooters to use a first-person viewpoint as well. But notice, those accolades, they're all about technology. And what was good technology in 1992 is a beeper in 2012. Like its technology, Corporation's story is also characteristically 90s. Some cybernetics company with more power than the government, a dangerous robotic experiment, Skynet becomes self-aware, you get the idea. As the game's title suggests, it's your job to stop the corporation. Good luck with that. Now, Corporation was praised in its time, and it's easy to see why. There just wasn't a precedent for games like this. In fact, Corporation's 1990 release for the Amiga predates Wolfenstein 3D by 2 years, so it has a clear historical significance. The problem is, it's just not much fun, at least not by today's standards. Now, problem one is that you're moving in a 3D environment, first person, with a directional pad. That's hardly ideal. In fact, it's a nightmare, especially when your movement is so clunky. For all the ground it broke in 1992, this game it kind of feels like a drunkenness simulator in 2012. Not all important video games age well. And to me, that's what separates a classic from a game like Corporation. This is a leviathan of a 16-bit game, far more complex than the majority of games released in its time, but Corporation became exactly what it wanted to be, a symbol of technological advancement. And those things have a shelf life. Just ask the Laserdisc. Big thanks to our pal Thor from the UK for sending us Corporation.